Well, in the stairs, I just heard a noise like this. Ooh, ooh. I was like, how dare you to scare me in front of my special BFF? Ooh, for you too. So you may know I'm not afraid of you all. Hello everyone, this is Gracia and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you one of the toughest days of my life that started at Madrid airport and went throughout that day on. I wouldn't say it was the worst day of my life because, as you know, we human beings have the tendency to forget bad experiences, but I would definitely put on top 5 of the worst days of my life. So if you, for some reason, you think you are having a bad day, just bear with me until the end of this video because I'm sure you're gonna change your mind. I don't like to make vlogs. I do like to watch some of them. So in this playlist, I'm just going to give you some useful travel tips as well as tell you some experiences I've had while visiting these places. So it was December last year. I have booked already my trip to Paris because, as you know, the sooner you buy your tickets, the cheaper you get it. So I just wanted to visit my friends because it has been a while that we don't see each other, and I want to have more time to visit the attractions and all the stuff in Paris. But guess why I couldn't go there?
Coronavirus! Coronavirus! Coronavirus!
Yes, the French government just restricted most of the flights from UK. I still remember when it happened. I was at work and we were listening to the radio when the announcement came up. So I just had to change my plan at the last minute because I always have holidays in late December. Looking at the world map, honestly, this is one of the hardest words to pronounce in English for me. World.
G O G L E Gulu Gulu Future
Because I have to wrap my tongue. World. Okay, forget it. Gotta go back to my English with Lucy lessons. So while on the map, what country am I going to visit this time by my own? Because none of my friends were available to travel with me at that time. Actually, I wanted to go to a warm country because the weather here isn't easy. So I was born in Angola, lived in Portugal most of my life, have been in Germany before the pandemic, and now, because of an unplanned connection flight, just another adventure to tell you guys. I love Germany, by the way. I have been into Belgium as well before the pandemic, so I've chosen Spain, Madrid, most specifically because I never been there before. You know, a brother country of Portugal, similar weather and language. So I thought I would have a great time there. And to be honest, I really did. Maybe I'll just make another video explaining my holidays in Madrid. But for now, I'll just focus on my return to UK, which was a full nightmare. During my stay in Madrid, everything was fine. Nice weather, sunshine every day, beautiful and vibrant city, nice food. What else could I ask? On the night before of my return to UK, which was on the 31st December, one of the guys that stayed close to my room was like, "Are you going to sleep now? Come on, today is New Year's Eve and are you going to bed at 7 p.m? Come on." I normally go to bed at 9 p.m. and I try to stick on this schedule, even on my holidays. I think my body just got used of this routine. The guy was like, Are you a normal person? Everybody are preparing themselves to celebrate the new year in this awesome city. And are you going to sleep now? Come on.
I was like, yes, I'm going to sleep now because tomorrow I'll have to wake up early in the morning because my flight will be at 10:45. So I don't want to miss my flight.
I don't like to miss a flight, and you know, I never missed a flight until that day, and I never understood why people miss something so big. I remember when my brother was in New York with his fiancée and they missed the flight to Lisbon. They had to pay almost $1,000 to get the next flight. One of my best friends was in Dubai last year on his honeymoon, and guess what? They missed the flight too. I was like, I don't know how you do to miss a flight, because for me it's like 1,000 will fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand. Hold on. My right hand is this one, or this one. No, yeah, this one. And 10,000 at your right hand. But to you, it will not come near. It is in scriptures.
I mean, even if everybody misses a flight, I will never do that.
I was wrong. I arrived at the airport around 8ish a.m. and I was quite relaxed and happy because I had nothing to worry about. My documents were there. I hadn't forgotten anything at the hotel. Actually, everything was fine, so no Kevin's mom syndrome.
Terrible feeling. No, that's not it.
So, what's Kevin's mom syndrome? KMS. According to Ingratian Bridge, yes, me, myself, and I in the building. KMS is the feeling of having forgotten something, you are already on the way to your destination, or simply by the feeling that you are going to forget something. At this point, you are at home. When a trip is imminent, be it an air, road, rail, sea trip, and so on. There are several levels of KMS depending on importance, distance, and the thing forgotten of a trip. Also, according to myself, 1 in 3 travelers suffers from this type of syndrome, and I'm included on this statistic, unfortunately. I'll give you more details on how to deal with and avoid this syndrome on my Instagram and other social networks. So if you don't follow me there, please consider doing so, because I would love to be your BFF too on other networks. Everything was fine until I get into the man that was managing the queue asking for information. I told him I have my passport, I have my COVID pass, my check-in is done, so I have everything. The man told me, let me see your docs then. It looks like everything is fine. I think just your PCR is missing. I was like, which one? You mean that one that I have to do when I arrive at home, right? I was like, yes, of course. I've ordered 2 weeks before my trip, so it's waiting for me at home.
He was like, no, Ingracia, I'm talking about the negative PCR test that you have to show so you can have the permission to travel back to England.
I was about to faint, or at least pretending to faint, because I've read all the guidelines regarding COVID trips, but I forgot that part that says on the return I would need a negative PCR test. I looked directly to the man and said, maybe you're not aware of the COVID rules in the UK. I live there, so I know better than you. Maybe you didn't read well that part that says I don't need a negative PCR test to return to England. So I'm going to that door so I can be on time to my flight, right? And then I started walking slowly to the boarding gate when he told me,
Ingracia, you will not be able to travel because where you are going now there is a checkpoint and they are going to ask you exactly the same thing.
I was like, okay, what do I have to do now since I don't have the COVID test done? He said there is a clinic on my right side, and if he was me, he would go now because there is a big queue ahead of me. I went to the big queue, and after 10 minutes, I just realized that we were in the same place. People were not moving. And then someone told me that the clinic only opened at 10 a.m. Time was passing by, and then the clinic only opened at 20 past 10 a.m. And the queue was still so slow that I just told myself, forget it, you're gonna miss your flight. So I got in touch with Ryanair, which was the airline I was flying with, and explained the situation, but they told me, as I already checked in, there was nothing they could do. So here is another tip, guys. Don't check in unless you are absolutely sure you are going to travel. While in the queue, I was thinking how I would pay the 50 euros for the PCR test because I only had 42 euros. I had my debit card with me, but as I never used abroad, I thought it would not work. But you might be wondering, How so? You didn't know your debit card would work abroad? Because in Portugal, we barely could use our debit cards to buy things online. How much more to use abroad? So I was just praying to my special BFF, begging that the people assisting us could accept the 42 euros. And they did. I was like, thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigado. Very kind of you allowing me to do the PCR test even though I don't have the right amount. Thank you. After having the PCR done, I was searching for the next flight once I have missed mine. Normally, I always buy the ticket directly through the airline I'm traveling with, but I don't know what happened on that day that I just Googled.
Gulo gulo!
DAN GER OUS Dungers.
And buy cheap flights to Manchester because I had my train ticket with me to Tyne and Wear where I live. So I bought one of those online tickets, and to make sure everything was right, I tried to check in directly through the app of that online company. The most interesting thing is I have seen the reviews of that online company, which were 1.9 out of 5, and I still bought the ticket. Can you believe it? I couldn't check in, of course. So I went to the Ryanair counter to check in since I would be traveling with them. And the woman who assisted me said that my ticket was invalid.
A vontade de rir é grande, mas a de chorar é maior.
I was like, what? No, I think I didn't hear quite well. But before that, the woman told me to pull my mask up because she said it was under my nose. And it was not. It was like maybe here. Yeah, here. Like this was here, around. Yeah, and she said, oh, you have to pull up your mask because it's not properly. I told her to pull her mask up.
Because her mascarilla
Was not properly. She was looking at me like, this lady is not well. They used to be so picky with mask related things that sometimes, oh my god, I just wanted to take off my mask because it was very warm. And sometimes when you are using the mask and it's warm, you just want to get rid of it. But anyway, it's very, very warm in Madrid. We were in December. It was very, very warm. By the way, Spanish people are so obedient when it comes to follow the COVID rules. Everybody was using masks everywhere, even in the streets. Yes, even in the streets. Tourists were using masks in the streets. In the restaurants, we were allowed to take off our mask only when we were about to eat. Even the dogs were using masks in the streets. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, they are very disciplined. You will have to forgive me now because I'll not be able to tell you all the things that happened on that day in just one video. So I'm going to split in 2 videos. This is the part 1. The next video of this playlist will be part 2. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and tell me your trip adventures in the comment section. I would love to hear about them. Before I go, I'm going to leave a sneak peek of what you can expect from the next video. So in Gracia, how do ghosts, demons, and all these spirits react when they hear the name of your special BFF?
Eles dificilmente conseguem se conter porque se deparam começam a tremer.
É mentira.
E aquilo é tremer.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. Adios. Ciao, ciao.